Hi guys, and welcome to what is actually Tuesday and Agility with Erna. So Erna's done loads of obstacles and agility type things in her life, but we haven't actually done them for a little while now. So I laid out a few bits and pieces, and here we can see her first view of the tarpaulin. Now, she has done tarpaulins loads in her life before, but as I say, not recently and not on long range either, I don't think. So she was a little bit wary of this to start with. We just kept approaching it, seeing if we could get one step closer or just a little bit nearer than we had been the first time, and then we'd move away again just to take the pressure off again. Here we're just relaxing in front of it for a little while before I ask her to move forward, just so she can see it's no threat to her, it's not going to move or anything. She does start to drop her head and just move a little bit closer, sniffing the poles. These are all really good signs. She's kind of thinking about what her next move is going to be, and the fact that it's not scary and I'm encouraging her from behind. So all good things, and hopefully in a minute she'll go for it.
And hold up the sign.
So we've moved away to take the pressure off a little bit, faced it again, and there we go, 1 foot on the tarpaulin, really good. So now she's learned it's not going to scare her, it's okay, and the next time round she hops over. A little bit jumpy, but she did it, and she comes back round, and as you can see she goes straight through, realises it's all good now, it's not a problem, and she can do it, which is brilliant. So then we moved on to this channel of poles, which is a really easy exercise, but for some reason, there we go, Erna stumbles quite badly through here. I've got no idea why she did it, but she did hit herself in the face with her knee quite hard, so we stopped and had a little look in her mouth. It was bleeding slightly, but she hadn't injured herself, so I think she just caught her tongue or her gum. She was absolutely fine. As you can see, we went through the channel again afterwards. I then double checked she was okay again, and she was. She's in her head collar, so there was no bit in there to cause her any further injuries. So we carried on, she was more than happy. We had a go at the little water tray here. Again, she's not really seen this before, so she was a bit confused about what I was asking her to do the first time, but second time, stepped straight over it. Really pleased with her, very good. Not even batting an eyelid here, so good. And just to finish off, a little bit of bending, really easy and a fun thing for her to do. Just to say, she was absolutely fine. I checked her mouth all through the rest of the week and it caused her no other issues. She could eat and drink absolutely fine. She had literally just caught her gum or her tongue just on her knee. When I watched it in slow-mo, she really did wallop herself. But, you know, we all have these little stumbles and accidents. She was absolutely fine, and yeah, we both really enjoyed the obstacles. So definitely something to do again. Good morning. It's Wednesday morning and it's raining. Now, us horsey people are a weird bunch because we spend all of winter wanting it to stop raining. And then when summer comes, we want it to rain because it's too dry. Go figure. But everything was so dry. So this bit of rain's lovely. It smells amazing. There's Jane eating her breakfast. Erna in the back. There. Seren. There. And Juliet. So yeah. No fun today because getting ready in the rain is just the worst. If I had a little shelter or something I could get ready in, it'd be so much easier, but it's just not worth it. By the time you've got ready in the rain, everything's already soaked. So, a day off for the ponies today, I think. Hi, Ponyo. Are you hungry? So, on to Thursday. The rain had stopped, but as you can see, it's still pretty windy at my field. Katie was coming over to ride Seren, in a socially distanced manner, of course. So I was getting the little pony ready for her, and I was literally going to post her under the school fence so she could get on. Now I think Katie first sat on Seren when she was 2 years old, so she's known this pony pretty much her whole life. And Seren, as you can see here, is being a typical Seren. So we're scared of the poles, we want to go everywhere and trot. We're definitely not going anywhere near the poles. No, yeah, Welsh brain on today. Katie's just laughing her head off because she thinks it's absolutely brilliant. As I say, they've basically grown up together. She knows every trick this pony does, and they know how to have fun. So we just thought we'd have a go at a couple of the little obstacles, see if we could get her to do a few bits and pieces, and see if she'd follow Jane over the poles here, which hilariously, she doesn't. She says, I can go round, that's absolutely fine. So whilst Katie was having a little play with Seren, I was having a little play with Jane. Jane is absolutely amazing at agility and obstacles, and we haven't done it for ages, so I thought we'd just have a little play around. As the session went on, Seren did get a little bit easier and a little bit more willing to do what Katie was actually asking her to do, so she does get her to go over the poles in the end, which is brilliant. Jane just, as I say, did everything I asked her to do really, so just enjoy watching us having a bit of fun. Now this was really funny. Obviously these poles are very different to the natural poles that we'd been trying to get her over earlier on. So we were doing tiny footsteps forwards, just trying to get near the channel of poles before we could even think about getting her to walk through it. Please do note, however, these are the exact same poles that I have videos of her lunging over for the past few weeks. Now this was the only way we could get her in. As you notice, as soon as the vegetable treat comes out, she steps straight in. Let's now enjoy the photos of her being really over dramatic. So on Friday, as all the bits and pieces were out, I decided that me and Juliet would do some ridden agility. Now this is something we have done a little bit of, and we had just walked over this tarpaulin when, oh yeah, heart attack. Yeah, it crunched. She really does make me laugh, this pony. But yeah, we went round again and she popped over it really nicely, so I was very pleased. It was just an initial shock, I think, of standing on the tarpaulin with me on her. She went straight over the water tray, didn't even think about this. Really good, because she does have a tendency to jump these sort of things if you're riding her. And yep, straight round the channel of poles, so yeah, excellent. Last year we did a couple of handy pony competitions with the riding club, and I have to say I'm really missing them this year, so hopefully we'll be able to get one before the end of the year if the coronavirus stuff does lift anymore. But until then, we'll just carry on having fun, practicing and playing with our things in the field. And then just for a bit of fun at the end of the session, I decided to wrap Juliet in the tarpaulin. Now, I have a video on my YouTube a few years ago of me training her with some flags, and she was quite spooky. I rewatched it the other day. I can't believe how good she is with flapping things and flags now. She's a bit heady, as you can see here, but what she's actually trying to do is rub her head on me. And she does this every time I get off after I finish riding. She wants to scratch her head sort of between her ears. And so, yeah, you can see her trying to do it again there. I was just trying to persuade her, no, we haven't finished the session yet, just because I've got off. But yeah, she just kept wanting to scratch her head. So she's definitely, I just can't get over how good she is with the tarpaulin. You can see it's blowing all between her legs there, and she stood there perfectly. Loved my pony. Saturday hacking with Gemma. So this was another really windy day, and actually after we got back it started to rain and it chucked it down for the rest of the day, so I think we actually managed to get the best weather of the day on Saturday. So here we are, just heading out with the ponies, all tacked up, ready to go. Hadn't really decided on an exact route at this point, but sometimes the best rides are the ones that kind of happen as you're going along. So here we decided we were going to brave the wind and go up onto Clump Hill. We have been quite sheltered, so I think we'd kind of got used to just not being blown around, and I thought, oh, it won't be too bad up there. Now, it was pretty windy when we got to the top of the hill, but it was definitely worth it. It was a lovely ride round, and I haven't actually been this way for, I can't even remember how long. Now, there was a tractor at the top of the track here just coming out of a gate, so we waited for it to come past, and then as we went forward again, there was some cows, and Juliet's usually terrified of cows, so much so that I have to get off and lead her past, but Gemma just squeezed her on and she walked past absolutely fine, which is a total miracle. And then as we're approaching the next gateway, you can see that there's a sign there asking people not to feed the goats, which the girls have not seen before. So the combination of cows, sign and goats I thought would be enough to blow Juliet's brain. As you can see, Erna's just walking past, giving everything a nice wide berth and a good stare. And Juliet did the same, which I'm really surprised about. As I say, it would usually have been a getting off moment. She was absolutely perfect, just walked on. Gemma kept her going. Brilliant, so pleased with them. So then we came across some more signs and things, and again, the ponies just had a little stare. I don't think Juliet even reacted then. I'm so pleased with both of them. I think the obstacle work is really focusing their brains. It really pays off when you do that sort of work with them. Juliet just walked straight past, Erna did too, and then we headed on back down the hill. Now my camera battery did run out halfway down here, so just enjoy the views of the countryside for now. We got back safe and it was a really lovely ride. So Sunday I decided was a long raining day, and I wanted to get both Erna and Juliet out for a long rain over the common behind the field, just for something slightly different. Erna is amazing long raining out. She is so good. We did loads of it when I was breaking her in as a baby, so she's really used to doing it, and it's a really good way of me keeping fit as well. Now, believe it or not, this was the puddle I came through a few weeks ago when it was pretty much as deep as my wellies, and I got that on video, and there was another time I went through it and it went over my wellies, so it's dried up so quickly I couldn't believe it had gone. I was really disappointed to see there was a couple of spots of new fly tipping, so this one's new, and also some of the rubbish that's been added to previous piles. There are some new bits here. It looks so horrible and it's so dangerous. I really wish people wouldn't do it. So then I headed out with Juliet. It's been a little while since she's done anything by herself, away from the others, so I thought it would be really good to take her out just for a short long rein. Now you can see here, each lunge line was attached to the bit rings. Now this will become important later on. You can see it there, it's all normal and good. So she was long reining pretty well, and we got to this section of the track. Now this is where she can be her naughtiest. You can see she's waving from side to side slowly. This is her starting to say, no, I don't want to go that way, I want to go back to the field. I just encourage her forwards with the lunge lines and my voice. Here she acts like she's going to snatch a bit of tree and then tries to turn back towards the field, so I turn her back in the direction that we were going in and ask her to walk on again. So she tries again, you see we swerve to the side, and she spins round again. Now we did start to get into a little bit of an argument here. I just wanted her to stop and turn back to the direction that we were going in. We took a moment, I called her back towards me, I gave her a little rub and a bit of encouragement, just said to her, look, it's okay, we're only going down there, there's nothing down there that's terrifying, we'll be okay. She tried to spin round again, I tried to stop her, and I just wanted to turn her back again towards the direction of travel, just to say, no, we're still going this way. Now, Juliet's very headstrong, very, very headstrong, and if she doesn't want to do something, she will try her utmost not to do it. So the best thing with her is just to say, no, you can mess around as much as you like, but we are just going to go the way that I said we're going to go, and to do it really calmly and really gently with her. Now, she was trying to get her head over the fence here. I don't know where she thought she was going to go, but again, just turned her back round to where I wanted her to go, and then I walked alongside her, which seemed to help a little bit, just to say, look, I'm here for you, nothing's going to happen. So again, she tried to get past me there, and I just turned her back round again. So each time she's learning, if she does spin round like that, she's not going to get anything out of it. And then as you can see, she walks on really nicely after this. Now we'd stood for a while to chat, which she wasn't very happy about. She had a little munch on some grass, and then I asked her to walk on again, and she was much better. You can see here she's much calmer. She does try once to spin round there, and I tell her to get on. She does a little funny bunny hop, and then she's like, fine, okay. But then I noticed that the lunge lines are both clipped onto each other, as you can see in the picture here. I have no idea how that happened. When we were stood talking, they were clipped onto the bit rings. All beforehand, obviously, they've been clipped onto the bit rings. No one had touched her head. I have no idea how that happened, but I re-clipped them onto the bit rings, and she was absolutely brilliant. We went up the rest of the lane, had a little trot, went up to the top and turned around, and came back home, and she was perfect. Really, really pleased with her. At first I thought maybe it was the lunge lines being clipped onto each other that had caused her to be so naughty down that track, but when I look back on the footage, they weren't. They were on the separate bit rings. So again, I've got no idea how that happened. As she was being so good, I decided we would turn around and try this bit of track again. Now, I did think this could ruin everything and she'd go back to being really naughty again. But no, I was so pleased with her. She walked down here, a little bit of a wobble, but nothing as bad as when we'd first gone down there. Very, very good pony.